Alright team, we're using 3ds Max today and this is the first lesson. I'm going to help you out. We're interested in making things, moving, rotating and scaling them today. So you'll see I've got 3ds Max starting up. Takes a while to start up because it's a big program, can do lots of stuff. You've just got to be patient. Okay, it starts up like this. We're just going to close this window today and be left with an empty scene. So you'll notice as I click in each one of these views, that yellow rectangle follows me around. Just to show you what's going on there, if I make something, so let's make a box. This is my create menu, the little star, and I'm going to create a box. I can drag it out, let it go, and then drag it up and I can make a box. And here you can see the box from the front, the box from the top, and the box from the left hand side, and you can change these views whenever you want. If I go Alt W, I can get the full screen, so I can see it from the top or I can see it from the perspective. The view cube here lets you rotate around, so you can just click on the view cube and it'll let you rotate around. If you click on any of these faces, it will show you that view. If you get lost, you can scroll in and out with your mouse wheel. And also you can click on the mouse wheel and you can drag, pan side to side. But if you get lost and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, you go up here to the little home button and home will bring you home. So if for some reason you're lost and you're like, oh, I don't know what's happened, which is easy to do, you can click on home and it will bring you home. Okay, here's the tools, or here's the shortcuts that I want you to know today. W is move. You press W, you can move in the X axis is the red one, and you just highlight the red one, it'll just move it in that direction. The Y axis goes this way, and the Z axis, the blue one, goes up and down. Okay? If you're going between two of them, you can go backwards and forwards and up and down, or you can go left and right and up and down. Or you can move it around just on the base plane, move it around and not go up and down. So that's how that works. That's the move tool. If you want to go E, you can get the rotate tool. If you just click anywhere, you can just free rotate. Control Z undoes. If you click on the blue one, it's the Z axis, you can just rotate it flat. Green one rotates it in the Y axis, and the red one rotates it in the Z axis. Okay, so I'll just undo those changes, get it back to how it was. Last one I want to show you is R is for scale. Now, R is for scale works like this. If you go in the middle and you're scaling it up and down, it scales everything. If you go on just one of these axes, you can just scale it in that direction. So I can just scale it in the Z direction. Or I can make it fatter by scaling it in the X direction. Okay? And if you go on two, you can just scale it in those two directions. So it gives you a lot of power and control. Just one thing about scale. When I'm making a box, I'll just delete this one. When I'm making a box, if I want it to be exact dimensions, so at the moment we're working in meters, maybe I want to go up here and customize, go to my unit setup, and I want to make it centimeters or even millimeters from 3D printing. So you notice that it's got some lengths here. So if I make a box, and then I can come over here and change the lengths. I might want it 50 millimeters long. Whoops, not 500, hang on. 50 millimeters long. I want it 50 millimeters width and 50 millimeters high. This is a much better way of getting it exact, okay? Putting in the measurements means it'll be exact. If you just scale it to what you think, it's changing the size, but it's not changing it exactly. Okay, here's a project that I would like you to do to show that you can do this. Let's make a sphere. Okay, it doesn't really matter what size that sphere is, but you know what? I'll give you a size. Let's say that we make the sphere with a 25mm radius. Okay? Now we're going to make some cones. Now, I want these cones, I want 3 different sizes. So I want to show you a little trick here. When I go move and I hold the shift button down, when I go to move this cone, it's going to give me a little dialogue and say, well, how many would you like? It thinks I'm going to copy them. And I'll say, make me 3. And it will spread out 3 extras. So there's the original one, and then I've got 3 extras. Now I'm going to go to each one of these and I'm going to scale it down a little bit so that they get smaller as they go. And then I'm going to move them and I want to line them up. Now here's where you can get a bit tricky. So here's where I'm going to go into my views. I'm going to go viewport configuration and I want to go to my layout. So I can have all different ones, but at the moment I think I need 2 views. And when I say apply, it's going to give me these 2 views. So at the moment I've got a front view and a top view. I'm going to take this one back to perspective. And I don't want it to be wireframe, I would like it to be realistic. I'll go home and it'll bring me back. That's the same view I had before. But now I can see in this view, I can see what's going on. So when I pull this one over, I'll be able to see when it's exactly right. I'll be able to see when it's exactly in the middle where I want it to go. Then I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to do the same to this one. I'll be able to see when it gets to the middle where I want it to go. So you can see that when I'm working in the perspective view, it would be impossible to know when it's getting close to the middle. But by using both views at the same time, I can see what's going on. So now I've made this little Christmas tree sort of thing. I'm going to select the whole thing by dragging across, and then I'm going to bring this to the center of my sphere. And then I'm going to bring it up. So now I've got a sphere with a pointy thing sticking off of it. Now I'm going to grab that whole thing, I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to hold shift when I rotate it to get another one. Now I'm going to come up here and click the snap to angle. I'm going to hold shift and rotate it 90 degrees. And I'm going to say, yeah, make me a copy. And then I'm going to move that one down and bring it out the side of my sphere. I'm going to do the same thing again, rotate it, grab the whole thing, rotate it, hold shift, rotate it 90 degrees. W to move. I'm going to bring it, oops. I just undid it, so I had everything selected again because I made a mistake. I'm going to bring it right to the middle, and I can see it's in the middle on the left hand side. Bring it down. And then one more. This time I'm going to rotate it, E for rotate, hold shift. I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees. Make a copy. And then I'm going to go W to move and move it out the other side. And so now I've made some kind of compass bearing, or it's a pommel for the end of a sword, or some sort of interesting shape. Actually, the main thing I've done is I've proven that I can rotate, move and scale shapes in 3ds Max. And that's the end of this lesson. Let's see if you can produce something like that for me.